Welcome to Woman Talk, where we keep it real. My name is Tara. Please join me and my girls Didi and Promesta as we have difficult and informative conversations. Our goal is to uplift and encourage you. Please go with us on this journey.
Welcome to Woman Talk, where we keep it real. Welcome back, everyone. We have definitely missed you. Today, we are going to discuss the holidays, the new year, going into the new year. What are your plans? And we'll tell you about our plans. So let's go ahead and dig in.
And our girl Promise is not here today, but she's with us in spirit. She is doing her thing down there in Florida. She is doing big things. So we're very proud of her and we miss her. So next time she'll be back.
Absolutely. We definitely miss her and her bubbly spirit. But definitely, so Tara, over these holidays, which Thanksgiving and Christmas, they're like my favorite time of the year. And I know that that's big for you too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So over the holidays, what did you do and what did you enjoy most?
First, taking a whole bunch of time off. It's just I can't even describe what it's been like as far as being busy. So it seems like from the time I got back from our live recording, it's just been nonstop ever since. And I'm very excited because the book is in print. So you guys will be able to find it on Amazon, on Barnes & Noble. You guys can hit us up maybe on the Women Talk page and we can give you more details. I've posted a picture of the cover and things like that. So those are things that are happening. So Didi, what about you?
Well, for me, I love being with family. It was definitely difficult for Thanksgiving because I lost my mother-in-law in September, and Thanksgiving was her big holiday. That was her. She didn't care what you did for Christmas, but Thanksgiving, she, asked for all the kids and the grandkids to come to the house. So we normally did it big, like for Thanksgiving. So it was just very difficult. It was nice seeing family though, but it was difficult to even plan. The planning was even difficult because normally we plan together. So, but it was still nice seeing family. So that didn't change. It was definitely nice seeing family. It was a mental break as well because it had my my little days off of work. And I was able to mentally just take a break because I feel like I've been, going and it's just been, so much loss and just so much, throughout the years just been, so kind of say depressing that it was just nice to chill with my husband, just, relax with our little one. And we watched movies. I made her watch movies with us. And we kind of just laid around and watched movies and tried to have mental breaks. You know what I'm saying? We don't get those enough. So that was our big thing. So I did enjoy seeing family, but it was definitely different for us this year. And so, and of course, Christmas will be different as well. But I definitely love coming together with family and having all that time off of work. That's like my favorite.
And taking time for yourself. I know that for my day, I took 2 weeks off from my regular job. You know how you do the days where you get the whole holiday off. And then I actually took an additional week off from my private practice because you just sometimes have to do that. If you start feeling depleted, and sometimes we don't even know where it's coming from, but you just need a break. And so I've decided that that's what I'm going to do. And it's harder because people start pulling on you, but you just have to really say, no, this is when I'm coming back and putting that in place and setting it in stone and not deviating from it. Because people are, they be like, you sure you just can't get me in? No, I cannot get you in. I am completely booked. I have 2 more work days of the whole year and then I'm done until after the new year. So it's awesome. And I know by the time people will see this, they might be after the new year. We don't know, but just we'll be talking about some of that stuff. So Didi, do you make resolutions?
Yes, I do. You know how you used to make those that you knew you couldn't even meet? So I I used to make the ones I knew I wasn't even gonna do it, needed to take, like everybody that lose weight, that you're gonna lose weight in 2022. And then
Oh, I'm
don't do
losing weight in
anything.
2022, but go ahead.
Yes, but normally in the past, we're getting older, so we know how much we need to start watching our health. But,
Definitely.
normally you would make it knowing you didn't have no intention of dropping anything, because, my go-to is Pepsi. So I knew I wasn't giving up no Pepsi. So to say that I was going to lose weight, but I wasn't willing to give up some things, that's not, reasonable. So now I'm just about making reasonable ones so then I don't get stressed out, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of saying I'm gonna go from drinking absolutely no pop, I do things like, okay, instead of drinking pops, usually 5 days a week is my thing, is that I'm gonna drink it 3 days a week. Because I usually only have to drink it when I'm working. Like that's my biggest thing. When I'm working and going.
Well, you
And then
don't drink coffee too, so people got to know you don't drink coffee.
no
So
coffee.
yeah.
No coffee. And so but I want to get into with my nonprofit, that's something that I always say I need to get back into, but that is one of my things that I have. I'm going to do that, and then my t-shirt business. Those are the two things that I actually want to push more, promote more, and work more. I just been through so much that I just haven't done any of it. It's just not wanting to do it. So it's just about motivating myself.
But then we have to put that in perspective, because it's not that you haven't done anything or haven't. There was a lot. This whole since March 2020, it has been a lot. And people don't, especially when you have personal loss. And I know you probably don't mind me mentioning it, but your father passed away during the pandemic due to COVID. So it's rough. And then what people are understanding too is we're emerging into a world, or really even in this country, that has 800,000 less people. So if you think about that, that's taken a spiritual toll on the whole world. I tell people, yes, we have a physical footprint, but we also have a metaphysical footprint. You don't know what happens. The people, maybe there was somebody who you were used to going to the grocery store and smiling at.
Yeah.
And they're no longer here. And we don't even know that that's missing, but we know when we go in the grocery store, something is missing. So it's just things to think about. I think that what we have to do is give ourselves grace about the things that we haven't gotten done, that we wanted to get done. And those things. This pandemic has put things on hold, but it's been weird because it's put things on hold, but it's given people more drive and determination to do things. So, don't be hard on yourself. You ain't been sitting around doing nothing. It's been a whole lot going on in this last almost 2 years.
Absolutely. It has been. But I wanted to go back to something you said as well, is about people wanting to fit in for appointments with you, and that you're going to take this break as well. Because one of the things is people have to realize you have to regroup too.
Absolutely.
You can't give people your everything. Otherwise you won't have anything else to give. And so when you said that, I thought about that, is that, you need to make sure that you're taking the time for yourself so that you have something to give. You're human. So at some point, you're human. You've suffered loss. You're going through holidays, without family members so all of that plays a toll on you as well. So sometimes people have to just make sure they understand that when you're giving them your all year, you do have to take that break to kind of replenish all that.
Right. And it's just things like you never know when it's going to hit. I call it like the balloon. You can squeeze a balloon, but you never know exactly where it's going to pop out. Yeah. And just even recently, so I think, but everybody might not know, I have a younger brother who actually passed away due to medical malpractice. So now these things are coming up about this hearing and this trial and this lawsuit, and you don't know how you'll be triggered. And it's like, I don't want to, I got a piece of mail and was like, but it's just because you just don't know. Tensions are higher than what they normally would be. And then something happens for you personally. And it's like a lot of things just, make you feel a little bit like you're off the center. And you're right, even especially being a clinician, people don't realize suicidal ideation is up. I treat people who deal with suicidal thoughts. I treat people who have lost people to suicide. And it's tough. I walk out of some of these sessions like drained, and I feel like I'm good. I can put on a good thick skin, but some of these issues are just heavy issues. And trying to walk beside someone while they're working that stuff out, that's very difficult. And people don't understand. And so I was like, I don't feel burned out, because one of my clients asked me if I was burned out. I don't feel burned out, but I feel tired, and tired is right before burnout. And I don't want to get there, because I do love what I do, and I love the people who I come in contact with. And I love, being able to be there to help people walk through, different stages in their lives. So, for the people who know me, they know it's hard for me not to work, but I'm taking this time. I've never not worked 3 weeks. I don't think I've done that in 30 years. Wow. So it's like, it's needed, and I'm ready for it.
It is. And you have to, because I always tell you this, but to me, you work different as well. I feel like you carry on, like you're just, the way your style and how you do it, I believe that because I know that you really care for the people, that you then can carry, some of the things. It's like when you always hear something bad, you always hear something bad. Not saying that everything is bad, because people are coming to you with what's going on in their life. That's heavy for you though. But it's just like us watching the news. Just think about how much when we were watching the news, things got depressing. It was just depressing to watch the news, because you start to carry the weight of everything else that's going on in the world. Mm-hmm. And I know the type of person that you are, that you're still caring, because you're a caring person, that you're holding on to what people are telling you. And that weight can carry you for people that are, you're not just doing it because, oh, this is my job and I'm getting a check. You actually care for people. And that makes you carry their feelings and their emotions. And you just have to decompress. You have to take that time to do that. So I'm very glad that you're doing that.
Yeah. And I feel you, you work out some strategies. So this is one of my strategies. Oh, y'all have to excuse my fan. Hey, we don't play with these hot flashes. I'm sorry. Y'all gonna see the fan. But what I've started to do as a method of kind of taking care of myself, since when I work in my office, it's about, if I was to take the highway, it's about a 45-minute drive from my house, right? Well, when I come home, I take the street, and it gives me more time and more things to look at. So when I'm driving back, it takes me about an hour, maybe an hour and 5 minutes to get back. And I am reflecting at that point. And what I'm doing is I'm kind of washing away some of that stuff. If it's been heavy, that's my time to kind of decompress, think about what I've done, because I've made some rules. It's very few issues that get across the threshold of my household door. I've just learned to work some of those things out and come up with ways to do it. Though the breakthrough stuff that comes through, I might not say names, but I got a very understanding husband who just let me tell him a little bit. It's just different things that we do to work out things like that. And I would say understanding that, and I'm a clinician, and like you said, it can be hard, but we're taught to work out processes that help us. But everybody can do that, because if you work anywhere, if you're working with someone and you're not a clinician and you hear that they lost a loved one and you know what they're dealing with, or all of those kind of things come into play. So it's good. Workout processes. Take care of yourself. We're going to talk about things to do going into the new year. A lot of people picked up crafts over the pandemic. Continue your crafts, regardless of how better it gets. So there are different things like that we can do just to make sure we're taking care of ourselves. Y'all know I bake. I've actually started experimenting with sugar-free baking, because I want to just eliminate a lot of the sugar. So it's a lot of things that we can do. And we just make sure that you're continuing to have fun and enjoying things. Isolation is the worst. And I know we've had to isolate over this last almost 2 years, but we can start to do what we can do that keeps us safe, as long as we stay safe while we're doing it. So that's just something to think about. And we're going to be talking about some other stuff. So what next, Didi? What are you thinking?
And I think one of the main, I want to challenge people though. We got to challenge people.
What's the challenge?
I have a challenge. You scared?
Because I don't trust your challenges.
You concerned?
Yes. I will say it out loud. Yes. What is this challenge?
No, this challenge also going into the new year is forgiveness.
Oh, yes. I wish. So everybody knows we had our girl Crystal Brown on the show. Mm-hmm. She was talking about her experiences. Y'all can go back and find it. But she's got a ministry, and it's called The Fragrance of Forgiveness. This is one of her shirts. Didi's wearing one. Y'all can't see it. It says 70 times 7 because that's what the word of God says, how many times we should forgive someone. But it's just something, and it's a phrase that Crystal says. I hope she's going to probably laugh when she watches this. She said it just hit different. And it really, that's the truth. It hits different when you can think about it in the terms of all the blessings that you'll get when you can learn to forgive people for the things that we believe they have wronged us in. When we can do that, it's just like a weight just that lifts off you. So when she started talking about it, she's got t-shirts too. The t-shirt is real cute. I just didn't wear the t-shirt today. It's super cute. But that's just a plug. But yeah, that forgiveness thing, that's real. That is real.
Is real. And really, forgiveness is for you. Because when you hold on to it, it's just tearing you up. And that other person is just living their life, moving on, strolling through. And I would like to say, even if they're not, you're still sitting in that place though. So even if they're not, you're still sitting in that place, and you're never going to be at peace. And my thing is, I'm big on the forgiveness. I am very big on forgiveness. However, I feel like, you can also forgive people, but then if it causes too much in your life, you can let it go as well. You don't have to me, if you can forgive people and still keep them in your space, that's great. That's ideal. But if it's too much, you still need to forgive, and then you know where to put them at in your life. I usually don't just erase people, but I know the places on where I need to put them.
Man, I would erase you in a heartbeat. Look, I'm being honest, but I've learned over time that you just can't throw people away. I've messed up. I've done some stupid stuff, and people forgave me. So it's like, okay, who am I to sit here and say I'm not going to forgive you? Yes. Now that don't mean that everything will go back to being 100% like it was, but the reality is I'm not going to sit here and hold you hostage in my brain for something that usually after 5-10 years, we done made each other mad. Do you remember what we were mad about?
Mm-mm.
After 15
I remember being dragged at work one time, but hey.
Damn, we're not talking about all of that on this.
No, but I would say this. I don't think we've ever been mad enough not to speak. It's always gonna hit different because, like me, I'm not
even gonna let you say that because you tried not to talk to me, but I made you talk to me. We ain't gonna even talk about the situation.
We talking about the situation?
It was a big situation.
Okay.
And you was like, and I was like, no, I was mad too. I was big mad, but I wasn't gonna let you not talk to me. Because I felt like
we have, but I'm saying I don't think we've ever It's easy to. I don't think I've ever been mad enough at you, and I don't know if you've ever been mad enough at me to say I'm never talking to Tara again. I might have been mad enough because we gotta at the same time. It's called growth. We have to evolve and grow as well. Mm-hmm. So I don't think I've ever been mad enough at you that I'm saying, oh, I'm not going to speak, to her ever again. At the same time, as outspoken as I am, is that if I feel like I'm in a space where I'm uncomfortable, I shut down. Mm-hmm. And I think you probably know that. But and I don't think we ever discussed it, but you probably know that. It's just if I get in a place where I feel is confrontational, and even if it's not, it may not be, but in my head, if it is, I'm a shutdown type of person. And that's one thing I need to learn how to do is work through those things as well.
And I'll say this, it gave us an opportunity to have a real conversation because, and we won't be in detail, but someone did something, they were wrong. They were wrong. I was friends with that person. I was friends with you. And what I said was, I'm not getting any. Mm-hmm. And because of the level of the situation, and you felt like you can correct me if I'm wrong. I felt like you felt like I had more power than what I had, number one. But you at least wanted me to speak on that it was wrong. And I was like, okay, but what do you want me to do with that? And I remember you just, because and I remember you told somebody else who asked you a question about the same person, and you were like, I don't know what you calling Tara for, because she ain't gonna say nothing bad about nobody. She don't care about the situation. And so it was like, I just needed that to be my stand. It doesn't mean I didn't love you. It didn't mean I didn't love that person. It just meant that where I wanted to be was not in the middle of the controversy. Mm-hmm. And I think once you understood that, because it was another situation that was happening that it was controversial, and I was all up in that with you. But then it was like, I don't know this situation. No, I don't want to be it. Like, it was just too much. And I think that was part of it too, because I try to love everybody. And if people mess up, I want them to mess up and stand on their own merit. And if you did that, you did that. And let that be that. So I think once we got on the same page with that, it was better. Because at first, I didn't even know why you mad at me. Then when you said, I was like, for real? Okay, now I get it. But if I had it just like, okay, she can be mad, I'm just going to let her be mad. I'm going to go and go. Because you had said something to me, I was like, let me just go in my office and slam my door. I'm not talking to her right now. And as I thought about it, it was big. It was huge. It was really
huge because my child was involved. I think if it was just me, I
wasn't even gonna say all of that.
I know, but I'm just saying for me, I'm telling that part. For me, if my child wasn't probably involved, as a parent, we gonna go hard. It comes to our kids. True. You gonna have to roll them out the way. And had it not been for somebody wronging my child, then I could have handled that. But wronging my child, I couldn't see anything but red. That's the truth. I couldn't see anything but red. I had blinders on, and I was like a bulldozer, just driving, not seeing what I was driving through when it came to my child and somebody wronging my child. I think had it not been that, I probably could have seen a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? But because of that, I couldn't see.
Mm-hmm. I get it. Like I said, and it's old for us because, it happened so many years ago, but it was still just one of those things. But I think what that did for us, it allowed us to see each other differently. Yeah. So then it was like, because you would be calling and asking, why did he ask me that question? And you said, at one time we were talking and you said, the reason why I ask you these things is because I value your opinion. Mm-hmm. And I didn't get it at first. I'm like, we just friends, we just talking. And it didn't dawn on me as much until after you said it just like that. So I was like, oh, okay. So then when we can think retrospect, then it's like, well, that's why she valued my opinion. That's why she asked me my opinion of the person. I but since I'm standing in the vein of I ain't about to talk about nothing, because look, I didn't did that enough. I'll be honest, I ain't talking about nobody no more. Because at one point in my life I would. It was just so then it was just that was the thing. So it's like, no, she wasn't eliciting no gossip. She was really trying to get information. So once we could get back on the same page with that, we was good.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And it's funny because I think you have brought it up one time before. I forgot about it. When you said, I was like, oh yes, it's like old news that you forgot. But that's another thing though, is that you take the time with forgiveness. Sometimes you just have to learn that other person's point of view because it may not be the way that you think it is. You know what I'm saying? In your situation, you were trying to stay out of a bad situation. You knew it was bad. You were cool over there. You were cool over here. And like you said, even though you might have didn't agree with how the person handled it, you were just trying to stay out of it, which is funny because that's what I normally try to do now is like, I'm like, okay, I'm not taking this person's side or that person's side. I'm going to let them work their own stuff out. And I think that's kind of where you were, which is a great thing. It is a great thing. But, like I said, if it hadn't been my child, then I probably, I could have seen that. But because it was like, no, I'm taking them out.
I get it. Look, hey, I was like, ooh, I don't want to be in the middle of that storm.
Yeah, no, that was a storm. That was past the storm. That was a tornado.
It was. It was. And then it brings me to something else because I've there's this huge thing, especially like we don't talk about political stuff. And I think we should talk more about it because it'd be some mess. And I'd be like, oh, because I don't watch the news. So when I hear stuff, I'll be like, oh my gosh, this is something we probably should talk about. But just in the nature of the Me Too movement, we have a lot of people who are being driven into therapy because they either have memories of some traumatic things that happened or they didn't know that even because it became so commonplace to be disrespected and abused in a sense in different places, that it was even something that they could talk about or they could get relief from. So talking to people who have been traumatized by folks about forgiveness can be difficult because they get the impression that forgiving that person gives that person a pass against the wrong that they've done. And that is not what we're talking about. People should be held accountable, but forgiving them releases your soul. And believe you me, if they've done something and they know they're wrong, they catching it anyway. It's not, because we think if we don't forgive them, that's somehow torturing them. No, their own thoughts are torturing them, or they done moved on with their lives because they're narcissistic or antisocial and they don't care. So that's just something to think about. Forgiveness washes you. It helps you, not so much the other person. It's about you and you getting to a healthy place and a strong place. And if that is very difficult, talk to somebody. I'm not only saying that because I'm a clinician. I'm saying that because it works.
Right. Absolutely. I agree with that. It's definitely when you are forgiving a person because, I'll find myself, like I said, forgive someone. And then I just go ahead and I just keep it moving, from that situation. But I just feel like, when you just forgive for people that I've forgiven, I've just felt that have done wrong by me and I know they were wrong. I still had to let it go. I still have to see some of those people. Sometimes those people are going to be in your, still in your life that have, wronged you. And like you said, it's not that they didn't do anything wrong. Forgiving them didn't change the fact of what they did. They still did it.
Right.
It
Right.
just changes the fact that I feel like I'm not holding on to it.
Right. Right. And then I tell people all the time, you cannot have unspoken or unrealistic expectations of other people. So we get mad at folks when they don't even know that they were supposed to do something or they don't have the capacity to do it. So we got people, you mad at your mom and dad because they didn't do XYZ 30 years ago. They maybe couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they couldn't. Maybe they weren't able to love you like you felt like you needed to be loved. It's a capacity issue.
Mm-hmm.
So now we've got to do things to get healthy within inside of ourselves. That would be if I could say, I don't really like resolutions because I don't never keep them, but I try to have goals going forward. And what I want to do is just be healthy, but holistically healthy, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, just to be healthy in every aspect of my life so that when people, so that I am giving the best that I can, really, truly. You can't do that from a depleted place. And a lot of these things that we do, holding on to unforgiveness, being mad at folks, just being evil yourself, it stops you from being as productive as you can because it takes a lot of energy. So one of my big talks with my clients is you got 100% energy. If you using 50 of it to just be miserable and nasty, you only got 50% left to be productive.
Mm-hmm.
So the best thing to do is reclaim some of that spent or wasted energy so that you can be fully productive and the people who you're assigned to can get the best of you. That's something that I think about a lot when I'm going forward to do things. That's why I'm taking time off. You ain't getting the best of me anyway. If I'm sitting there looking at you and I'm depleted, I want you to get the best from me.
Yeah. No. I mean, we plug in our cell phones to charge them, right?
Exactly.
We put gas in the car to keep it running.
Mm-hmm.
Have to take breaks. That you have to, even if you're at home doing what you love to do, even if you're at home sewing or baking or whatever, that's energizing you. So you have to take the time. I'm excited. I can't wait. Even though I'm not doing nothing but sitting here watching movies, which is probably what I'm going to do.
Damn, I'm telling you. Ooh, I was like, taking this time, this is where it's at. This is what I want to do with my time.
And sometimes I feel like as bad as the pandemic is, as many people that we've lost, but at the same time, I think it has allowed us to sit and allowed us to see that family is important and taking time, that life is too short and that we were always just moving, because it's not really real to you when you're, I won't say it's not real, but it's like when you see a lot of people putting rest in peace, they lost their family members and you're like, oh man, that's sad, rest in peace. But when you seen all of these people passing, it was like, oh my God. Or if it hit home, like it did in my, oh my goodness, life is too short. We always said it, but when you're living it, then it's like, okay, I need to take these moments for myself. I think that's what allowed me to say, oh, you know what? All of this extra running that I do, I need to take time for myself. It's just, you just have to take time for yourself. So I've been enjoying that. I love watching movies. That's my big thing anyway. So I just watch movies, chill with my husband, chill with our little one and our grandson too. And we'll just watch movies and chill with them or talk to them, just spending that time that normally we're on the go. So you don't get to really do that. It's not quality.
Exactly. And you said something, it brought something to mind that I say to people a lot. And I say, know the power of your no and know the power of your okay. And when I say okay, it's like, okay, like the sarcastic okay. That means I don't necessarily agree with you, but I'm going to let you have that for my peace of mind. And that's what we have to start to think like. No is not a dirty word. No just means that I'm taking time to take care of myself.
Absolutely.
And I tell people, make sure that when you're making decisions, you're making it from a perspective that allows you to be first sometimes. You know, if you struggle in that area, you got to reset and do that to where you're first. I call it making yourself be the most important part of the equation all the time, giving yourself permission to do that. Doesn't mean you're the only part of the equation because there are other pieces, but you're the most important part. That way, it stops you and it makes you take inventory of, are you taking care of yourself? So things like, if I say yes to this, am I making myself the most important part of the equation? You may not be. You may say yes anyway and do it, but you're making it more informed. So you knew it was going to be some mess when you went into it, but you made the decision to do it anyway. But that's how, if you can look at it like that, then you don't feel out of control. You feel very much in control of what you're doing. So it's just some little tips and tricks. And maybe if that's what people would like, we can do that more often. Give little tips and tricks, or y'all ask us questions. We love it. And thank you so much, guys, for the support and the fellowship and just hitting us up. Drop us a line. We will respond. We will respond. Ask us questions. It's good. And we look forward to, I feel like I'm winding down. I don't even know if we should be, but we look forward to 2022 being the best year that it can be for us. I believe it'll be a year like no other. Look for the book, Beauty for Ashes, Overcoming Trauma to Live in Victory. Is hitting the store shelves. I'm so excited. I don't even know what to do. I can't hardly contain myself about that.
I'm excited too. And we're going to make sure we have that link too on our Facebook.
Yeah. Yep. Y'all say special prayers for Promessa, whatever, wherever she is today, she being one of them two people, but she doing big things. And so we look forward to getting her back, and her sharing and updating us on some of her radio things she's been doing. I think she's been doing a little bit of TV stuff. She's been doing some in-person appearances. She's been really doing her thing. So, just keep looking for big things to happen. Really for all of us. And we thank you again for your support. Really, we thank you. Shout out to our awesome producer, Rashana Dennis. Shouts out to her.
Thank you, girl. She makes it happen. I tell you that.
She makes that happen. Yes.
No, and just remember, as you go into 2022, self-care, take care of yourself, forgiveness. And like Tara said, maybe we should be just setting goals, not resolutions.
Setting goals, not resolutions, yeah. And if Promessa was here, she would tell you all, you do not have to suffer in silence.
We would just like to invite you in on our podcast where we're going to talk about some things. So get your tissues ready. It's going to be deep, but it's going to be real. So we invite you to just sit in with us and share our experiences, share your experiences with us, and we'll share ours with you.